Hello and welcome. Now in this video we are going to review the domain section, and you're going to see 7 icons, and we are going to go over the site publisher and subdomains in separate videos. So what we want to do is take a look at some of the other domains. Now before we start, you're going to want to note that in some cases you will have a host that will do some of this work for you, and they would prefer that you don't do this work yourself. So verify with the host that the changes that you make inside of cPanel for your domain in this section will be reflected accurately on the server, and it's not something that they need to do. Now first, we'll look on add-on domains. Now using an add-on domain system, what you're doing is you are taking a new domain name and you're using part of your hosting for this specific domain name and you're giving it to the new domain. So for example, if you've registered a new domain and it's called My New Domain, what you're going to do is you're going to actually have a subdomain connected to the domain that you are using on cPanel, which is going to be the name of the domain, and then it's going to redirect to a particular part of your cPanel. What you can do is you can create an FTP account associated with the add-on domain, so you have to use a specific way of logging in. So you can click this button. When you do that, you'll want to click Add Domain. You can also use the aliases section. Now this is going to be a case when you may use another form of your domain, and when you use that other form, you want that form to direct people to your main domain name. So for example, let's say that you already have the .net to your domain name. What you're doing is you're saying that when someone types in the .net, that they'll be directed to your .com. Now in order to do this, you are going to need to have your name servers pointed to your domain. You also have a section for redirects. When you click the redirect section, you'll notice that you can use either permanent 301 or permanent 302. Now when you use permanent 301, what will happen is that when the visitor comes, its browser will update its bookmarks. If you use a temporary or 302 type, then the browser will not update the visitor's bookmarks for your new site. Now what you're doing here is you are taking a particular domain. Let's say that you wanted to use the .net of your domain and you wanted to also use the .info, and that whenever someone typed in those domains, they redirected to your main domain. And so you're basically going to redirect them to your website using this redirect feature. Now once again, what's happening here is that your domain is going to redirect perhaps to another location. Let's say that you have a .net that you're using, and what you want to do is that whenever a visitor comes to your site, you want your domain to redirect them to another domain. And you're going to use this feature in cPanel in order to do that. And what you can also do is you can redirect a specific directory to a website. So for example, what we can do is we can use our domain name, then we can put in here a subdirectory. We can just have that subdirect go to another domain. Now then in most cases you're going to use here the redirect with or without the www. You'll leave that as a default unless you have a specific reason for using one of the other two. You can also use what's called a wildcard redirect. And what that's going to do is that's going to take all of the files or anything that someone types within this directory and still redirect them to the place that you've designated. And so this is a catch-all, and that'll help you if you know people are going to be going to this directory and they're going to be typing in different extensions. And once you've completed everything, you can then click Add. Now if your cPanel has the simple domain editor, typically what it's going to tell you is that this feature has been depreciated and it's replaced by the zone editor. So we're going to now just look at the zone editor. Zone editor allows us to use our domain with other services. We can put in different configurations so that the service can use our domain name appropriately. For example, if you were to use the Aweber autoresponder, what you can do is you can put in records in a certain configuration so that when Aweber sends out an email, it'll look as if it's actually sending from your domain. Now in order to do that, you're going to have to put in a text record and a CNAME record. And again, every service is going to be different when it does that, but this is the kind of thing that you can do here in the Zone Editor. Okay, so with that, thanks, and I will see you in another video.